I know what you're thinking. I already know what you guys are thinking. Henry, why are you doing a transfer video? Because the transfer window finished earlier this month. Now, I wouldn't normally put out a transfer video or a transfer rumor video after the window is closed. But this has come out from the most reliable transfer source, Fabrizio Romano, who has said on a number of platforms today, a big talking point, preparing us for the summer for Morgan Rogers. Now, he is having an unbelievable season for Aston Villa. He has been Aston Villa's best player this season. He has stepped up in big games, in big moments. Their top goal scorer, performed in the Europa League for them as well. Dragged them back in the game against Salzburg recently. Scored at the weekend against Bournemouth. But as big as a football club as Aston Villa are, when you've got teams like Chelsea and teams like Arsenal swimming around like a pair of hungry sharks, I know our name's in there, but let's be real. I don't see him joining Spurs at the situation we're in right now. We're going to break it down. Who does Morgan Rogers join in the summer? Let me know right now in the comments. Make sure you go down and drop a like on the video if you haven't already, and you let me know your thoughts. And make sure you go down and hit the subscribe button. The road to 100,000 subscribers is well and truly on. As it stands right now, we are, I believe, just under 400 away, just under 300 away now, which is absolutely obscene. Now, as I said, I normally wouldn't cover a transfer style video, especially being out of the window. Now, I got sent this earlier on Twitter, and it says, yes, Morgan Rogers extended his contract, and this is coming out from Fabrizio Romano, at Aston Villa a few months ago. There will be movement again. His situation will be one to watch this summer. I'm sure Chelsea are still tracking Rogers. He's a dream target for Tottenham. And let's see if any other clubs join the race, like Arsenal and other clubs who can be involved in this possibility. Now, he is an excellent player. He's honestly everything that a lot of top teams could really do with. So in this, this season for Aston Villa, he's got 8 goals and 5 assists in the Premier League. In terms of his current stats this season, he has got 17 goal contributions in 35. He's got 3 in 8 games in the Europa League. He's performed in some of the really big games for Aston Villa this season, scoring against Spurs in the FA Cup, scoring against them in the league as well, putting in really good performances at home against Arsenal and against Manchester City. They're still in the FA Cup. They could quite easily progress. They're still in the Europa League. 17 goal contributions is very, very good. Other than Bruno Fernandes, I would argue that he has probably been the second best attacking midfielder in the league this season. Now, his contract situation is an interesting one. Before we get on to does he suit Arsenal, Spurs, or Chelsea, his contract situation, he only signed a new deal very, very recently. He's been at Aston Villa. He joined them from Middlesbrough in 2024, and he signed a contract extension on the 10th of November 2025, as you can see there. It says on there that he's valued at 70 million euros. I believe he's an 80, 90 million pound player. In this market, when you look at Kudus, went for 60 million. When you look at the young, I can't remember his name is, plays for Aston Villa now. You look at Morgan Gibbs-White, nearly joined us for 60 million. Ilanga, that's the one. He nearly left we did leave Newcastle for 50 million. There's a lot of players that have gone for money that aren't as technically good, technically gifted as Morgan Rogers. And what's really interesting is he is still quite young, believe it or not. He is only 23. I know he looks a bit older, but you're going to sign whoever signs him, if he does leave Aston Villa, would quite easily get 5, 6, 7 years before he even gets to his 30s at a good, consistent level like he's performing at the moment. Now, the fact that Fabrizio Romano has dropped this tells me there's more in this story than is being made out. Morgan Rogers, for me, would walk in and start for Arsenal. I believe this season he has been better than Martin Odegaard. I think this season he would comfortably be Chelsea's best attacking midfielder. You could play Enzo and Caicedo as a double pivot, put Rodgers in the 10 and put Cole Palmer back out on the right. He would comfortably be Tottenham's best player. The big question is, who does he fit the best? Who does he walk into and fit the best? Well, we'll start off with Chelsea because they have been heavily linked to Chelsea. He's been heavily linked to Chelsea a number of times. Now, in terms of his wages and in terms of Chelsea's current structure, he's currently on £150,000 a week. Now, Chelsea have got a thing where they don't really sign anyone over the age of 26. So he would comfortably go in and improve that. He would be one of Chelsea's top goal scorers this season. And you could put him in a team where they have a very good front six. Now, with the potential of signing Morgan Rodgers in a Chelsea shirt, their front six would look something like this. Now, people talk about how far are Chelsea off winning the league right now. Caicedo, world class. Enzo Fernandez, very good. Cole Palmer on his day, world class. Morgan Rodgers, very good. João Pedro this season has been very good in the league. Very good. He's got 9 goals and 4 assists, the same amount of goal contributions as Morgan Rodgers. You add, all his goal contributions that he's got this season and Morgan Rodgers, you'd both have 2 players that can get 17, 18 at the league. The only weakness in that front six for me is Pedro Neto due to his inconsistencies. But that is a front six that could comfortably challenge for a league title if they improve centre-backs and a goalkeeper. You then look at the situation, how would he get on at Arsenal in terms of who, for instance, would he come in to replace? Now, I think that Arsenal could potentially play a system similar to this, where Rodgers is almost playing like a second striker. And I know what you're already going to be thinking, why is there no Martin Odegaard? I think Havertz has been, in the little time that he's played in the 10, has actually been very good. Gyökeres is the 9. Rodgers, not as a left winger, playing as a left winger from the start, but will mould into like a second sort of striker. In terms of ball striking ability, his ball striking ability is probably one of the best, if not the best in the Premier League as it stands right now. Now, that front six is good enough to win the Champions League. It's good enough to win the Premier League. That front six could win it all. Because what Arsenal are lacking right now is goals from the number 10. They are lacking goals from that central midfielder area, attacking midfield area. Martin Odegaard has got 1 goal this season in the Premier League, which isn't anywhere near the level of what we've seen. He's got 1 goal in 25 games. He has registered 6 assists. But Havertz, since coming back, looks better. Martin Odegaard looks completely shot of confidence. Saka on the right, Rodgers, or you put Martinelli or Trossard on the left, or Madueke starts on the right, or Havertz goes in the 10. You have got options. But that, for me, is a very deadly attack. It really is. That, for me, is a good enough attack to go out there and dominate Europe. It really is. And when you look at what Aston Villa are doing this season, when you look at how they're playing, you look at what they want to do, they're not in the best of form right now. And in terms of, if they don't get top 4, which could actually happen, looking at Chelsea and Manchester United are breathing down their necks, and they have got difficult fixtures coming up. I know they've got a couple of, in the short term, they've got early, decent fixtures against Brighton, against Leeds and against Wolves. But after that, they play Chelsea, Man United, West Ham, which is very difficult. Then they play Forest away, Sunderland, Fulham, Spurs, Liverpool and City. That running between, when's the Leeds game? The Leeds game is from after the 27th of Feb to the end of the season. It's going to be very difficult for them. It really is. I still think they've got a strong chance of making top 4, but that running of playing Forest away or battling for their lives, Fulham away is a tough place to go. I mean, they'll probably beat us because everyone does at the moment. Then playing Villa, then playing Liverpool and City. I wouldn't be at all surprised right now if Aston Villa slipped out of the top 4, and then it becomes, does he hand in a transfer request? I don't necessarily think he's that sort of player, but I do think, looking at that wage, looking at the fact that a lot of teams will go out there and improve that. In terms of him joining us, I don't see it happening. I know Romano said it's a dream and it could happen. There is absolutely no way that Morgan Rogers would join us when we are battling for our lives in the relegation zone. It's just not happening. Like, I don't care what anyone. We aren't going to improve that 150 grand a week. We're not going to have European football next season. This is a pipe dream. It's not happening. There's a lot more chance of him joining Chelsea or Arsenal. You know, let me know your thoughts. Who do you think he will join? And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Drop a like, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you soon.